What's up, my peeps? Time for another episode of Supercard here. So, last video, asked you guys whether you'd go with Jeff or Matt if you could only pick one of the two cards in Ring Domination this weekend. As expected, most of you went with Jeff. Now, the good thing is, the event actually ended up being a lot better than expected, or a lot easier than expected. So, there were two possible scenarios that I was thinking of. Either A, we get two Ring Domination events, two separate ones at the same time, one with Matt in it, and one with Jeff in it, and you'd have to go through an Ultimate, a Wrestlemania 33 card, and the actual event card on both, so a total of 6 cards if you're in the Wrestlemania tier. Or option B would be that it would be just one Ring Domination event, and if you're in the Wrestlemania tier, you'd have to go through the Ultimate card, the Wrestlemania 33 card, and then Matt, and then Jeff. Now, option B actually seemed like the more likely option, but hey, it's even quicker than that. You don't even have to go through an Ultimate card. You just go through the Wrestlemania card, which is Ken Shamrock, and then Matt Hardy, and then Jeff. Basically, Matt Hardy takes the place of the Wrestlemania 33 card, the normal one, and Ken Shamrock takes the place of the Ultimate card. So that's pretty cool. That means that even if you're just in the Ultimate tier, this is your shot to get your very first WrestleMania 33 event card, because you can still get Matt Hardy, and then next week in Road to Glory, you can go ahead and pro that card. So, good job, Cat Daddy. That is better than I expected. When it comes to Road to Glory, though, now I wonder how it's going to be. If it's also going to be easier than expected, with less points than you would expect to get 2 event cards, or is that one going to be harder? Because they made Ring Domination here pretty easy. Despite having 2 event cards, you weren't going through more cards than usual. And the great thing for people who aren't in the 33 tier in this Ring Domination is if you're in the Ultimate tier, you could get your first event card here. So, Road to Glory, looking forward to seeing how that pans out. I'm thinking it might just be the same thing here, where in total, it's the same points as a normal Road to Glory, where you just get 1 event card, but you're getting Matt and Jeff. But you already knew that, as Del Rio would say. And speaking of Del Rio, you guys seen his drunken rants lately on Periscope? I mean, first off, who still uses Periscope? Well, I guess Del Rio does, but I thought the thing was dead. Second of all, apparently he's saying that Triple H did it, that he knows Triple H did it. I'm guessing he means leak the tapes. Like, really? Do you really think Triple H has the time to go ahead and do that? Triple H knows how to hack people? It just, I don't know, man. That dude's weird. And on top of that, Paige is going ahead and retweeting these Periscopes with Drunken Del Rio. So I'm thinking she wants to get fired. I mean, why else would she retweet these Periscopes where Del Rio's just going at it at Triple H? And I think he was also like, oh, Impact Wrestling is better because they don't judge people on the color of their skin or where they're from. I certainly hope he's not talking about himself in the WWE, because he got pushed hard. He won the WWE Championship a bunch of times, the World Heavyweight Championship, Money in the Bank, the Royal Rumble very soon after making his debut. He came back and beat John Cena his first night back for the US Championship when nobody was beating John Cena in these open challenges. I don't know what's going on with Del Rio, but it seems like ever since he lost to WWE, he's been getting in a lot of trouble. So, I went ahead and took advantage of Ring Domination and went ahead and used it to trade my Tyler Breeze cards. Trying to get a couple more Ultimate Pro'd, because I actually need them in my Road to Glory deck. Checking my Road to Glory deck on my phone right now. I still have single WrestleMania Ty Dillinger, Brock Lesnar, Elite Pro, as well as Elite Pro AJ Styles, and The Miz. So I still need to replace these cards. I do have some single WrestleMania 33 cards that I can use to replace all the Elite Pros in my deck, the 3 that I've got currently. But the thing is, the difference between an Elite Pro and a single WrestleMania 33 card isn't that big. So I'm probably not going to go out my way to max out some single WrestleMania 33 cards just to replace these 3 Elite Pros that I've got in my deck. Chances are I'll just wait until I max out in Pro, Ultimate Pro Randy, as well as Ultimate Pro Xavier Woods, and Tyler Breeze. Actually, yeah, those are 3 Ultimate Pro cards, so they would replace all 3 Elite Pros in my Road to Glory deck, and then I just have to replace Ty Dillinger, which I can do as soon as I max out Matt and Jeff. Now, another reason that I'm looking to max out some Ultimate Pros is for my Money in the Bank deck. I want to get back to playing Money in the Bank on a regular basis. I stopped playing the mode about, I don't know, 3 months back or something like that. I just gave up on it, and I was just going for the usual event cards. But now that they're starting to give out some WrestleMania 33 cards in the mode, I want to get back to playing it so I can improve my Road to Glory deck and also my King of the Ring deck. Now, the reason why I specifically want to get some Ultimate Pros here is to have a balanced deck. You see, through the Fusion Chamber, through me training, or actually not training, but maxing out some cards, I go ahead and I always use some maxed out weaker cards so I can train the stronger newer cards in the newer tiers. So I'd use my SummerSlam pros and my WrestleMania pros to train my Elite pros and my Ultimate pros to the point where I don't have any more WrestleMania pros or SummerSlam pros, at least not enough to have a full balanced deck in Money in the Bank. If you guys recall, my previous Money in the Bank deck was full of WrestleMania pros, despite me being, I think, in the Ultimate tier at that time. And I was very happy with that deck because it was easy to win the Money in the Bank matches because, like I said, it was a balanced deck. They were all WrestleMania pros. So I didn't even have to think when I was going through those matches. I'd just pick a card really quick, and that was it. I'd win it every single time, get the 40 points. But then when you go ahead and need to train some cards, but you don't have enough of other cards that you're not using in your Money in the Bank deck, you've got to resort to using the cards that you have in your Money in the Bank deck, and that's what happened with me. Started running out of cards to use to max out my stronger cards, so I was like, well, looks like I have to use some of my cards in my Money in the Bank deck. Ended up using most of them except for the events, and that just doesn't leave enough WrestleMania pros for me to have a full WrestleMania pro deck in Money in the Bank. And I wasn't about to, start proing WrestleMania pros again whenever I pull WrestleMania cards. Whenever I'm past the tier, I don't go back and pro cards that maybe I didn't pro in the past when I was in that, lower tier, just to fill my card catalog, to have as many cards in there as possible. I know some people do that because they're collectors. They want to get as many of the singles and pros as possible so they can have a huge card catalog in the game. But to me, I don't want to waste my time doing that. When I'm in a new tier, I'm focused on proing cards in that tier and just proing cards that will actually help me out in either Road to Glory or any other mode. In this case, for this Money in the Bank, if it wasn't for Money in the Bank, chances are I wouldn't even bother trying to pro these new Ultimate cards that I got, like Randy, Xavier Woods, and all of that, because I'd probably just wait until I have enough WrestleMania 33 pros to replace these Elite pros and single WrestleMania cards in my Road to Glory deck. But right here, I want to get back to having a solid balanced deck in Money in the Bank, and I've got a bunch of Ultimate pros, and I just need a few more to have a full Ultimate Pro deck in Money in the Bank. So that's why I'm going through the effort of proing Tyler Breeze, Randy, and these other Ultimate pros. Actually, what am I talking about? There's not going to be any real effort because I'm probably just going to put the Ultimate Randy cards and Ultimate Xavier Woods card in Team Road to Glory this week, and that's going to be it. Going to train them that way. Like, I will take the easiest route to train these cards. Actually, speaking of training cards, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on video or if I just talked about this or brought up this idea maybe in a DM or something like that. But you guys know how they give you guys the option to watch ads to get bouts? Why not give us an option to watch ads to train cards? Now, not fully train cards, that's not what I'm expecting out of watching one ad, but what if for every ad you watch, it adds 5 matches played for every single stat on your card? I think that'd be a great idea, but this is coming from somebody who absolutely hates training cards, so anything that can make it easier or speed it up, I'm gonna be all for it. And quickly going back to the whole Money in the Bank thing, because I don't even think I mentioned why I need a balanced deck or why I want one to get back to playing it. It's because when you have a balanced deck, the matches go by really quick. You don't have to do too much thinking, you just pretty much pick a card and you win the match. There's no, thinking to it, but then when you've got an unbalanced deck, you've got to strategize, and the matches don't always turn out to your favor. Sometimes you've got to back out because you don't have a proper card or strong enough card to go through the whole thing and get your 40 points. So that's why. And now to show you guys my latest WrestleMania pull, but as you can tell from the title, it's not a good one. So my first pull of the tier was Joe. I'm not counting James Ellsworth because he was a freebie. So first pull, Joe. That's great, one of the best cards in the tier. And then I got Sami Zayn. Now, Sami Zayn isn't as good as a Joe card if you just look at the stats, but the great thing about a card like Sami Zayn is it's one of the weaker cards or not one of the stronger cards, so the chances of them giving out Sami Zayn in a Road to Glory or Ring Domination are a lot higher than Joe. So if you ever pull a card that's not that strong or one of the weaker cards of the tier, don't be too bummed out about it, especially if it's very early on, because chances are you might just be able to pro that card pretty soon from a Ring Domination or any other events. Now, what I pulled this time wasn't a superstar card, it was a support card. Now, if this was a couple tiers back, I might have been okay, I might have been actually happy with this pull. But now with the WrestleMania tier, the stats are really high now. They're in the 40k range for the normal cards, 40k to mid 40k. And then for the event cards, they go from high 40ks to over 50k. So these small boosts of 600 oftentimes won't make the difference, won't save you from a situation. Really, one of the few times where they can make the difference is when you're facing off against somebody with the exact same card as you have. So let's say my HBK Pro faces off against your HBK Pro. Then that can make the difference as far as who wins the match, as long as both don't get their abilities triggered or both do. If one of them gets their abilities triggered, then obviously that changes the whole thing. But if we're facing off with two different cards, chances are it won't do a thing. It won't save you from losing the match if you were going to lose the match without it. It's going to be the same result most of the time. I'm not saying all the time, because yes, sometimes it will help you out. It will save you from a situation, have you actually win the match. But just saying, most of the time it won't. And in Road to Glory, those last couple of matches when you're playing past the wall, you're barely getting through, that's when you really notice that it doesn't make much of a difference, because you'll notice in those matches, the rate at which the opponent's cards gets their finishers, gets their abilities triggered is really high. Like, pretty much every single card of the opponent that you face off against, it gets that boost, while you may get it or you may not. And in those cases, the support makes even less of a difference. And in my case, I'm trying to build my Road to Glory deck to get through it easier and quicker, and also build my King of the Ring deck to win more King of the Rings. I would have taken any single Mania card over this support card. I would have taken Rich Swann, who's one of the worst WrestleMania 33 cards out there, and is not a pro yet, but chances are he might be a pro, he might be given out in a future event. The best case scenario for me right now when it comes to pulling singles would be pulling a female WrestleMania 33 card, because that would actually make my Road to Glory deck and also my Wild and Ranked deck. Oh, and also after that, I went ahead and pulled a WrestleMania 33 enhancement, but that's an enhancement and that doesn't count as far as your official pull goes, while a support card does. In the comments section, let me know, regardless of your tier, what was your latest pull. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can click the like button. And with that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.